Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. As always, my friends, I do hope you're doing well. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on everything that's being spoken about regarding Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it, more importantly, asking for yours. Today, of course, Liam Delap's been spotted yesterday in London, touching down. He's going to sign for Chelsea. A little bit more on him a bit later in the video. Of course, Chelsea want to get him registered before the Club World Cup. Splitting opinion a little bit. I think he's a great signing, and I'll tell you why later. In the meantime, there's a ath.com story on Andre Santos, who has and generally has been considered untouchable for Chelsea. Of course, you've got people like Todd Bowley talking about how excited Chelsea are to have him back in the squad to make us better. But apparently there is a price tag, which might worry some people. A little bit more on Jadon Sancho. There is a twist. He could stay, and we'll talk about that as well. And Christopher Nkunku, though, would like to go to Bayern, which has long been the link, the story, the potential landing spot for him. Tottenham are interested. How would you feel about Nkunku going to Tottenham? We'll speak about that as well. So in the meantime, I'll thank you for joining me. We're going to get into it today. It's going to be a hella busy summer here on the channel, so do make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the bell once you've subscribed. And I'll thank you for liking the video. Let's get into it. All right. Before we crack on with Nkunku and Santos, and indeed Delap, let's talk about Jadon Sancho. Because Ben Jacobs has been speaking about the club's preference is for Sancho to stay at Chelsea. Of course, there's all this talk, like, we're sending him back, get rid of him. But Chelsea want to keep him. Now, to reiterate, this fee, this fine, this penalty to send him back to Manchester United is 5 million. But again, Simon Johnson of The Athletic reiterated for the multiple time that this £5 million by Chelsea isn't seen as a penalty. There was no loan fee for Sancho to come to Chelsea. All there was Chelsea paid a portion of his wages. So the only thing that Man United got out of Sancho coming to Chelsea is some of his wages off the book. Now, the 5 million to send him back, Chelsea were thinking it's about right for a loan fee. So they were seeing it as not losing out. But despite all of that, they're interested in him. He's in double digits for assists for Chelsea. I think he's got more assists for Chelsea than he has in his entire Manchester United career combined. Double digits for assists for Chelsea. He's won a couple of penalties. He scored winners in the Premier League, like belting winners. And he scored in the cup final, lovely, So I'm not trying to say Sancho's like this superstar success at Chelsea, but he averages a goal involvement like slightly better than 1 every 3 games, which actually contextually isn't awful. And for a player that I would like to keep as a squad player for £25 million transfer fee, which, guys, we're all absolutely lapping up Liam Delap. Many people are saying Liam Delap, amazing value, 30 million quid, which is kind of crazy really for a relegated striker. But it is true. We'll get on to Delap in a bit. 25 million for Sancho, who's got, Champions League final experience, just scored in the final for Chelsea, has chipped in, can play on both sides. I would be happy with him, but for me personally, I want him as a squad player. He's been a good citizen at Chelsea. He's a boyhood Chelsea fan, for whatever that counts for these days, self-proclaimed. He's been a good citizen. He's trained really well. He's caused no problems. The team really likes him. If he can accept a squad role, and of course, if he finds great form, he'll start games. He's 25, yeah? Is he 25? I think he was 24 when we signed him. But, in the next 10 years, or let's say 8 years of his top-level career, he's 25. Recently turned 25 last month. He could find form again and be a starter for Chelsea. The main issue here is Chelsea will only return him if they can't get him into the wage structure, which I'm massively positive on. I will endorse Chelsea breaking their wage structure for a Victor Osimhen. Not for a Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho's on insane wages at Manchester United. And that's up to them. That's their fault. Do you know what I mean? But if he goes, I like it here, I like London, I will take my 300k a week, my Manchester United wage, and for the sake of my career, I will half it to play for Chelsea. Because I want to play for Chelsea, I want to play for Maresca, I want to play in London, and I don't want to be over there at Man United, which is a big point, isn't it? And if he does that, I'm all for keeping him. And actually, things are going well for Chelsea. We'll all agree. We've reached our target, top 4. We've won a trophy. Maybe, I know it's this gross expression and phrase, but maybe we trust the process for a little bit. Maybe we keep Jadon Sancho, and that means he's halved his wages. We'll see what happens there. Right, now, this next one, have I got this set up? I do, yeah. Ben Jacobs tweeting about Christopher Nkunku, yeah, just for reference. Christopher Nkunku is expected to leave Chelsea this summer. Bayern made an approach in January, and Nkunku was keen. I think he still is. Of course, he's done really, really well in the Bundesliga for Leipzig. Chelsea and Bayern, aren't they? So Chelsea wanted 60 million euros back then. We had 70 million euros. 60 million euros is probably only what we paid for him, 52 million quid. I mean, he's still a very good player in his prime. People were saying 70 million pounds, which is 80 million euros. With a view of getting more back than they paid, it would have been slightly. Nkunku would welcome a new Bayern Munich bid and is also open to staying in the Premier League. This is where we have a philosophical question. Understand Tottenham have inquired and are the most concrete Premier League suitor. Newcastle and Liverpool links are wide of the mark. I've always maintained Nkunku is a great player. He's an amazing finisher. He just doesn't fit Chelsea and maybe doesn't fit the Premier League. I don't know how I'd feel about him going to Tottenham. Would the balloon turn white from red to blue to white? Yeah, it feels a bit yucky, doesn't it? Ideally, I want him to go to Bayern Munich. And he should want to go to Bayern Munich too, man, because you absolutely popped off in Bayern Munich. In the Bundesliga. Transitional football, space in behind, great finisher when you're breaking the lines, So I think you should go to Bayern. You'll win league title. I mean, who are you more likely to win trophies with? Bayern Munich or Tottenham? I know Tottenham somehow broke the curse this season, but they literally moonwalked there. Even though they were in a tier above European competition to us, they moonwalked their way to the final against weak opposition, and they came up against a terrible Man United side, and it was the awful final settled by an awful goal. The Europa League conference final was a much higher quality of football than the Europa League. So, I don't know, unless Tottenham pay him a lot of money, and he just thinks, yeah, I like London, yeah, I like that big stadium. How would you feel about Nkunku to Tottenham? Anyway, let's keep this train moving. So I'm going to read you a translated story from AS about Andre Santos quickly. So if this is broken English, it will be broken English. I do apologize. After a historic year, more than a deserved award arrives. Andre Santos, born in 2004, conquers France and Brazil at Strasbourg. He's gone from being a project to a reality. Again, excuse the fragmented English here. Chelsea are counting on him for the Club World Cup, but before that, he will fulfill his greatest dream, making his debut. Because he's been called up for the Brazilian national team, as has Estevan Willian, the 18-year-old, soon-to-be Chelsea superstar. The Brazilian is an all-range on the old continent, if that makes any sense. His second season in Liga, he's been included in Team of the Season. He's got double digits for goals, the most prolific Brazilian in Europe, I guess, for midfielder. They're calling him like the regen of Casemiro because he's this all-action midfielder that can pretty much do everything, essentially. And I'm not going to go into it because it is peculiarly worded because of the translation. The Pearl of London, I'll sort of bring it home though. The Pearl of London, Chelsea have been monitoring his development throughout the season. The club's plan is to keep the player in mind for the Club World Cup and beyond. After that, the player has sparked interest from several European giants. We know Bayern Munich are really, really interested in him. So as of today, Chelsea are not considering his departure as they have informed those interested. However, everything comes at a price, and that is at least 60 million euros, which is just over 50 million pounds. I think we spent 18 million euros on him. That we got him for a bargain. He was like a massively for this sporting project at Chelsea. He is probably like Esteban Willian and obviously Palmer and a few others. He represents the intelligent scouting, and 60. I mean, I don't want to sell him. Of course, Real Madrid are sniffing around Enzo Fernandez and stuff. And if we have 4 midfielders in Caicedo, Fernandez, Lavia, and Santos, that is cash money, baby. We don't have to worry about anything. And with Champions League, they should get football. I mean, obviously, the likes of Dewsbury Hall, do you know what I mean? And hopefully, good luck to him, gets a good move, etc. But we can't be getting rid of Andre Santos. We need it. We need to see him in a Chelsea shirt in a good team, in a settled team, in a structured team for a year or two, a season or two. And if he, it doesn't work or whatever, I can't see that happening, then fine, Chelsea will make a huge profit on him. But I don't want to watch him go to a massive team and think, we had him and we saw him do well here and we just didn't. And even if we sell him for like 60 million pounds, because he's so young, he could be like captain Brazil one day. It could be just this massive one that got away. One that we got in is almost certainly Liam Delap. It does look like it's about to be signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours at the time of recording. Split opinion a little bit, but I really like it, guys. I must say, he's similar. I've been looking at... I'm not going to share them with you now because we can maybe look at stats later. Tactically, he's not overly dissimilar to Jackson in terms of the way he makes runs, which is probably why, Maresca's looking at him like, yeah, he'll fit my football. But the main difference for me when you talk about Liam Delap is he is a throwback striker and he is much closer to a Drogba, a Costa than a Jackson is, because he is strong. He'll beat you. He beat us up. He bullied us when we played him in the 2-0 win. When he was the star of the game when Ipswich beat Chelsea 2-0. And that was the game where we went, we need that here. And it's not like, this is a type of striker that's good and really effective in the Prem, but, is it going to suit Maresca? Maresca coached him for a long time. Maresca got him scoring over a goal a game at under 23 level. And he's since gone to Ipswich, a relegated side, scored 12 league goals, 10 of which being non-penalty goals. And he creates a lot of his own chances, and he's 22. I've said it before. Gosh darn it, I'll say it again. I think he's the heir to Harry Kane for England's striker. In the same way as I got loads of heat for getting excited about Cole Palmer signing for Chelsea, a lot of people were like, why are you getting gassed about this? It's a waste of money. He's 10 million cheaper than Cole. Cole Palmer costs 42 million pounds. This is 30 million pounds. No matter what you think, this is good value. Yeah, this is good value. And the fact remains, he signs in Juventus, one of them, Milan, one of them, Newcastle, one of them. These are big clubs, yeah, or good clubs right now. Man United, one of them, obviously, but he rejected them. As soon as he comes to Chelsea, passes his medical, signs that 7+1 deal as this young English striker, we've immediately probably added 20 before he even kicks a ball for Chelsea. If he becomes good, then his value will skyrocket. But as soon as he puts that pen to paper, he's worth 50 million, comfortably. Because of what people know about him so far, how he's a desirable profile, young player, long contract, Chelsea player. Chelsea scouts have evaluated him. He goes from a 30 million pound player to a 50 million pound player immediately. Heck, if Ipswich stayed up, say just they did, they had a better defense, say, and they had better creators, so he went from 12 goals to 15 goals, and they stayed up. if a club tried to buy, and he didn't have this relegation release clause, if a club tried to buy Delap off Ipswich, they go, no way, absolutely not. 50 million? No. 60 million? Do you know what I mean? This is the kind of asset we're talking about. Now, you can have your own qualms because he isn't the finished article, and you can think, oh, another guy who's not the finished article. But immediately we're better. We're a better team. Jackson's a good, helpful striker for Chelsea, but he's flawed, and those flaws have been exacerbated because there's too much pressure on him. There's too much, there's not enough competition for him. That's all gone now. Even, we might sign another striker on top, but let's just say, for the sake of theoretical discussion, we've got Delap and Jackson. Different. We know Cole Palmer links up well with Jackson. In theory, he does with Delap. He's spoken about it because they did it at Man City and they've done it at England youth level. And I think both Maresca and Cole Palmer would be very pleased with the signing of Delap. In games where Jackson is making good runs but maybe getting, not being physical enough, you bring Delap on. And if you look at how Delap plays in the Premier League, he's so keen to score goals and get involved and progress up the pitch. I saw a graph on a scouting report. He's like the best striker in terms of progressing the ball up the pitch by himself. And Chelsea will come up against teams that are better than us now and again, and we'll have to sit deep every now and again. And like Ipswich did. And look out, even in the second game when Delap came on against Chelsea, when we drew 1-1, the way he just by himself through the whole Chelsea team went, no, we're getting out, and just took the ball by himself. I think he absolutely put Chalobah on his arse as well. And Chalobah had been defending really well for Chelsea. And Delap was like, nah, get out of the way, mate. I absolutely welcome that. So, yes, Chelsea are automatically better. Santos, Esteval, Georgi Petrovic, Delap. I'm quite already looking forward to next season. We're going to get a new winger, maybe a new centre-back, and maybe another striker, yeah. And of course, I'll be covering it all here on Football Therapy, so, keep it locked. Make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe. And a little bit of housework, daily content over on the sister channel, Football Yannick. Today, I reacted to the news that Bruno Fernandes might be going to Saudi Arabia and how screwed Manchester United are. So, link in the description or on YouTube, just search Football Yannick. Keep it locked. It ain't stopping here. Peace.